Good morning, everyone. My name is Arpan Banerjee. I'm a research scholar at the Department of East Asian Studies, University of Delhi, and academic counselor at IGNOU. And I have been teaching you the paper, the code of which is BPSC 134. And the name of the paper is Administrative System at the State and District levels. So I welcome you all to today's learning session. And let us resume from where we had left in the last class. So far in this paper, that is administrative system at the state and district levels. So far in this paper, we have in the first block, we had discussed about the historical context of the administrative system at the state and district levels. And as part of that, we had discussed the evolution of the administrative system right from the ancient period, wherein we had discussed the Mauryan Empire and the Gupta Empire and the administrative system that was prevalent at the state as well as the district level during the Mauryan and the Gupta Empire. Afterwards, we had discussed as part of this same block, that is block one, about the administrative system that was prevalent in medieval India. And as part of that, we had discussed the Mughal Empire. Afterwards, we had discussed the administrative system that the British created. And we also discussed that what are the elements of continuity and change from that British administrative apparatus that we have in post-independent India. Afterwards, in the second block, we have so far discussed the constitutional profile of the state administration, and followed by the state secretariat. We have discussed the organization and functions of the state secretariat, as well as the patterns of relationship between the secretariat and the directorates. After that, we have also discussed the state services as well as the State Public Service Commission and the State Planning Board also we have discussed in detail. And we have also discussed the State Finance Commission, the State Election Commission, the Lokayukt we have discussed, the judicial administration, the role and the function of the district collector that we have discussed, the duties, powers and responsibilities of the district collector. Afterwards, we have also discussed about Panchayati Raj in the last class. So we are left with only 2 units of this paper, and in today's class, we are going to discuss those 2 units. We are going to start by discussing municipal administration, because we have already discussed Panchayati Raj in the last class. We'll start by discussing municipal administration. Afterwards, we'll discuss center-state relations also. So let us begin today's class by discussing municipal administration. So as we know that in developing countries like India, the colonial governments that were there, during their period of domination, these colonial governments, they established several statutory institutions. We are all aware of that. And among these statutory institutions, the urban local self-government institutions, these are the most prominent institutions. And ever since the establishment of the Madras Municipal Corporation, which is now called the Chennai Municipal Corporations, which was established 4 centuries ago, when the British first established their foothold in South India or in the Indian subcontinent. They built the Fort St. George in 1639. So during that time, the Madras Municipal Corporation, now known as the Chennai Municipal Corporation, that was established. And since then, what we have observed is that there has been a proliferation of municipal bodies to manage the towns and the cities that are there in our country. Now, a very important moment we can call a watershed moment in the evolution of municipal administration in our country was Lord Ripon's resolution in 1882. Now, this resolution, it sought to place these urban local government institutions that the Britishers had created in different cities So this resolution, Lord Ripon, who was the Viceroy of India at that point of time, so his resolution in 1882, it sought to place these urban local government institutions on a sound organizational footing. So that was the purpose of Lord Ripon. So they are so these urban local government institutions since then, since 1882, they have been working with different degrees of success in administering the city. That we have observed. So now let us discuss certain characteristics of an urban area, since we are discussing about municipal administration, and municipal administration has got to do with urban areas, with urbanization. So let us discuss some of the distinct characteristics of an urban area. So an urban area is one which is formally so declared through the statutory establishment of that area, which usually is a municipal body. So it can be a municipal body, a notified area, or it also can be a cantonment as well by a definite legislation. So a cantonment is one where the armed forces are stationed. Thus, we can see that there are municipal acts in different states under which municipal bodies are set up by the state governments in specific areas. Cantonment areas are governed by the central legislations, not by the state legislation, since they belong to the armed forces. And there can be other areas also that can be declared as urban by the census authorities. So now let us discuss about the 74th constitutional amendment, which was the watershed moment, the most important moment for municipal administration in our country in post-independent India. This was the most important moment, the enactment of the 74th Constitutional Amendment Act, which accorded constitutional status to municipal bodies across the country. So far-reaching changes have been brought about for municipal government through this act that I've just discussed, that is the 74th Constitutional Amendment Act. This was brought in 1992 for the municipal bodies. As we know, we have discussed in the last class, for the Panchayati Raj institutions, the 73rd Amendment Act was brought in. And for municipal bodies, to accord them constitutional status, the 74th Amendment Act to the Constitution of India was inserted, was passed. So, as per this act, the Constitution of India, it provides for the constitution of three types of institutions of urban local self-government. Now, what are these three types of institutions? So, the first is the municipal corporations, which are for larger urban areas, for big cities, like for the likes of Mumbai, we have the Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation. For Bengaluru, there is the Brihat Bengaluru Municipal Corporation. For Hyderabad, there is the Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation. So for these bigger, larger urban areas, this amendment, it provided for the constitution of municipal corporations. And in other urban settlements, which are smaller than these big cities, it provided for the establishment of municipal councils. And finally, it also provided for the establishment of Nagar Panchayats as well in transitional areas. So what are the transitional areas? Transitional areas are those areas which are neither fully urban nor fully rural. So these areas are neither fully urban nor fully rural. They are in a transition phase. They are transitioning from rural to urban, but they have not yet completely become urban. So, in addition, this 74th Amendment, Constitutional Amendment Act, it provides for decentralization of municipal administration by constituting ward committees in territorial areas of these municipalities that it has given constitutional status. So, this act, it provides for decentralization of municipal administration by the constitution of ward committees in territorial areas of such municipalities, which has population more than 3 lakh. So this act also provides for the creation of ward committees in municipalities having population more than 3 lakhs. Now let us discuss the composition of the municipal authorities that this act has stipulated. So the municipal authorities, they are to be constituted of the following. Firstly, they are to be constituted of the elected representatives who are to be elected from different electoral wards. Afterwards, the members of the House of the People and the Legislative Assembly of the state representing the constituencies, that is the Vidhan Sabha, they are also to be members of these municipal authorities, and which are wholly or partly under the municipal areas. So the MLAs from these municipal areas, the member of legislative assemblies of the Vidhan Sabhas, they are also to be members of these municipal authorities, and also the members of the councils of state in those states having Vidhan Parishad or Council of State or Legislative Council. So those MLCs or member of Legislative Council who are registered as electors within a certain municipal area, they are also to be members of the municipal authority of that particular area. Of course, in those states which have the Vidhan Parishad, only 8 states in our country have the Vidhan Parishad. In other states, the members of the legislative assemblies or the MLAs, they are to be the members of the municipal authorities also of their respective areas, of their respective municipal areas. So this has been clearly stipulated in this act. Moving on, this act also says that in the composition of the municipal authorities, there are to be chairpersons of the committees and also of the municipal authorities as well. And finally, there are to be certain persons having special knowledge or experience in municipal administration. So these people do not have the right to vote. These are mostly bureaucrats. These are the IS officers that are members of these municipal authorities. They are kept there because of their special knowledge and experience that they have in municipal administration to make use of that. Now, this act also clearly stipulates that the ward committees, they should be composed of members of the municipal council representing the wards within the jurisdiction, and one of the elected representatives from within the wards is to be appointed as its chairperson. But the Constitution of India, it gives discretion to the state government to decide the composition. That is why we see in different states the composition differs, because the Constitution of India, it gives discretion to the state government to decide the composition of these ward committees. Another important provision of this 74th constitutional amendment, it pertains to the municipal authorities' right to exist. That is also something that has been addressed by this constitutional amendment, the right to exist of these municipal authorities. So this amendment, it gives a term of 5 years to these municipalities, and if at all they have to be dissolved, they must be given an opportunity of being heard. So they cannot be dissolved unilaterally. That used to happen before the enactment of this amendment, that the central government or the state government would unilaterally dissolve municipal bodies. But after this amendment came into being, after this 74th constitutional amendment accorded a constitutional status to these municipal authorities and municipal bodies, what we see that they also accorded the right to exist to these municipal bodies, and they gave a term of 5 years to these municipalities. And if these municipalities are to be dissolved before their term of 5 years gets over, they must be given an opportunity of being heard. Cannot be dissolved in a unilateral manner. And even if they have to be dissolved because of any irregularity, this act, it clearly states that fresh elections should be held within 6 months. That is a very, very important thing that this act includes. So this prevents the phenomena of prolonged supersession for years together. What used to happen that these municipal bodies, they used to be superseded for many years, but now that they have been accorded a constitutional status by the 74th Amendment Act, this act, it prevents the phenomena of the prolonged supersession of these municipal bodies for years together. That is a very important aspect of this Constitutional Amendment Act. Moving on, the empowerment of weaker sections of the society, including the scheduled castes and the scheduled tribes, as well as of women, is also one of the substantive provisions of this Constitutional Amendment Act. The empowerment of the weaker sections of the society, that is, women and the SCs and the STs. And with a view to empowering the SCs and STs as well as women, this act, that is the 74th Amendment Act, it provides for the reservation of seats in the municipal council. And besides such reservations, the most important provisions of the provision of this constitutional amendment is the empowerment of women, for which one-third of the total seats are to be reserved for women. So this act has focused a lot on women empowerment and also on empowerment of the SCs and the STs. To keep the municipal elections out of the direct control of the state government, and also to ensure free and fair elections to the municipal bodies, this Constitutional Amendment Act, that is the 74th Constitutional Amendment Act, it has also provided for the constitution of an independent state election commission, just like we had discussed in the last class when we were discussing Panchayati Raj institutions, that the 73rd Amendment Act also provided for the creation of a state election commission, an independent state election commission, in order to ensure that the elections, in case of Panchayati Raj, the elections to the panchayats, they are kept out of the direct control of the state government, and also to ensure fair elections. Similarly, to keep the municipal elections out of the direct control of the state government, and also to ensure that those elections are free and fair, the 74th Amendment Act has also provided for the constitution of an independent state election commission, consisting of an election commissioner who is to be appointed by the governor of the state. The most important feature of this 74th Constitutional Amendment in the financial sphere is the mandatory constitution of the Finance Commission. So this act has also clearly stipulated that a finance commission is to be mandatorily constituted by the state government once in every 5 years. And the State Finance Commission is to make recommendations regarding the principles which would govern the sharing of the state taxes and the fees between the state government and the municipalities, and also its distribution among the municipalities. So that is to be decided by the State Finance Commission, that the State Finance Commission will give recommendations regarding the principles which would govern the sharing of the state taxes and fees between the state government and the municipalities, and also about their distribution among the municipalities. The commission also has to suggest, this finance commission, it also has to suggest the principles for the determination of taxes and fees that are to be assigned to them, and also the grants in aid that are to be given to the municipal authorities out of the consolidated fund of the state. That also the commission has to suggest the principles based on which the grants in aid are to be given to the municipal authorities. And the commission also has the mandate to suggest ways and means of improving the financial position of the municipal authorities. And also, the need for non-planned funds of the municipality is also to be looked upon by the Union Finance Commission as well. And federal transfers will now be available also for the municipal authorities as well. So the central government will also make transfer of funds to the municipal bodies. That is also a very important thing that this Amendment Act has done. And the 74th Constitutional Amendment, it also provides for the setting up of District Planning Committee. The function of this District Planning Committee is to consolidate the plans that are prepared by the municipalities and the panchayats within the respective district, and also to prepare a draft development plan for the district as a whole. So the municipalities, they are to be represented on it. And the plans so prepared, they are to be forwarded by the chairperson of the planning committees to the state government. Similarly, the metropolitan planning committees, they are also to be set up. This 74th Amendment Act has stipulated that metropolitan planning committees are also to be set up in the metropolitan areas, that is the bigger cities, on which the municipal authorities are to be represented as well in these metropolitan planning committees. The 74th Constitutional Amendment is also a landmark legislation. For the first time, it accords constitutional status to the municipal government. This 74th Constitutional Amendment has for the first time accorded constitutional status to the municipal government, and it has also provided for broader social participation in the local councils. And it has also ensured people's involvement in civic development and also enlargement of the functional domain by inserting the 12th schedule in the Constitution of India. That has increased, that has enlarged the functional domain of the municipal authorities through and that has also included this 74th Amendment Act has also ensured the continuity of these municipal bodies through regular elections and transfer of regular funds to them from the higher levels of government, that is from the provincial government and from the central government. The other important dimension is the constitutional recognition of micro level planning that is coordinated by the District Planning Committee. Now let us talk about different kinds of municipal authorities that are existing in our country. The first such authority, as I have already discussed, is the is the municipal corporation, which is there in big cities. So the administration of civic affairs in a big city is definitely a huge challenge, and the distinct characteristic of a city is the huge concentration of population that we observe within a limited area. And the management of the civil services, therefore, it requires an effective organizational structure to be there in place, and it also requires an adequate finance as well as efficient personnel as well. So the municipal corporation is a form of city government that occupies the top position among the local authorities in big Indian cities, and normally this corporation is the municipal corporation is a form of urban government that is found in major cities in India, the metro cities like Mumbai, where there is the Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation, the Delhi, where there is the Delhi Municipal Corporation, in Kolkata, there is the Calcutta Municipal Corporation or the Kolkata Municipal Corporation. In Chennai, now there is the Chennai Municipal Corporation. In Hyderabad, there is the Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation. So the big cities, they have these municipal corporations, and these municipal corporations, they are established through special statutes which are passed by the state legislature. So they are statutory bodies. And in case of union territories, they are established, these municipal corporations are established through acts that are passed by the parliament. So, for example, the Chandigarh Municipal Corporation, because Chandigarh is a union territory, So the Chandigarh Municipal Corporation has been established through an act of the Parliament. And such legislation by the Parliament, it may be enacted especially for a particular corporation or for all corporations in a particular state. So the Mumbai and Kolkata corporations, they were established through a separate legislation. However, in case of Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh, state level legislation governs the working of the municipal corporations. And the municipal corporation, it generally enjoys a greater measure of autonomy than other forms of local government. In almost all the states, this municipal corporations, they have been assigned numerous functions. Now, what are these functions? They are water supply, the supply of drinking water, electricity, road, transport services, public health, education, registration of births and deaths, drainage, construction of public parks and gardens and libraries. So these functions are normally divided into two categories: obligatory and discretionary. There is also a mayor of these municipal corporations, and in view of the importance of the city, the mayor is the first citizen of the city, and it's called the political head of the city. And the mayor presides over the meetings of this municipal corporation and also exercises limited administrative control over the working of the municipal corporation. The general pattern in India is that the council elects the mayor. So, for example, the mayor of the Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation is elected by the corporation from amongst the councillors for 2.5 years, for 2.5 years. So, the term of the mayor is 2.5 years from the date of election. And however, what we have observed is that the mayors, they are ceremonial heads. Also, there is a commissioner in the municipal authorities, in the municipal corporations. The institution of this commissioner, this post of commissioner, it was created for the first time in 1888, based on the philosophy that the policy making and policy implementation functions in cities need to be separated. So this was later recommended by the Decentralization Commission that was formed in 1909 to separate the policy making and policy implementation functions in cities. And municipal commissioner is the chief executive officer of the corporation. And the municipal commissioner also has responsibilities for the administration of the city and also implementation of policies and programs that are decided by the council. The state government normally appoints the municipal commissioner, and normally the called municipal councils. And any municipal area with 3 lakh population must form ward committees also to ensure true people's participation in the governance of the area. This has been stipulated by the 74th Constitutional Amendment Act. So now let us discuss a little bit about these ward committees. So ward committees provide citizens' participation in the urban governance, and they also bring municipal governance closer to the people. In this regard, Article 243S, Clause 1, it provides for the constitution of ward committees in all municipalities which have a population of 3 lakhs. It also provides that 2 or more wards can be combined for the purpose of constituting a ward committee. And the composition, territorial jurisdiction, and also the manner in which the seats of the ward committees have to be filled has been left to the hands of the state legislature. Now let us discuss about another institution of urban local governance that is there in our country, that is the Nagar Panchayat. So those urban areas which are undergoing a transition from rural to urban, they are to be governed by these Nagar Panchayats. And the members of these Nagar Panchayats, they are elected by the resident citizens of these areas. So now let us discuss a little bit about the composition of the municipalities, which has been stipulated by the 74th Amendment Act. The membership of these municipalities, they consist of two categories of councillors. So first, there are directly elected councillors, and secondly, there are certain nominated councillors as well. The number of elected councillors that varies according to the size of the population of the territorial area of the municipal corporation or the municipal council or the municipal committee. In case of nominated members, the state law needs to specify the conditions and procedures for nomination of these representatives. So that is something that has been stipulated by the 74th Amendment Act. These nominated members, they include the members of the Lok Sabha, also of the Vidhan Sabha of these states, and also they are members of the municipal bodies that are there in their respective constituencies. So they represent their constituencies in those urban local bodies. So those constituencies which are wholly or partly under that municipal area, they are part of that municipal body of that specific constituency. Also, it includes members of Rajya Sabha as well as of those states having Vidhan Parishad or Legislative Council as well, who are registered as electors within a certain municipal area. These municipalities, they also include chairpersons of committees of the municipal authorities and also persons having special knowledge or experience. We have already discussed that in municipal administration, but do not have the right to vote in these meetings because they mostly are bureaucrats. Now let us discuss a little bit about urban development authorities. So urban development, as we all know, is a very complex phenomena. And accordingly, the strategies for developing urban areas are multi-phased. One of the problems of an urban area that urban areas face today is to prevent haphazard and unplanned physical growth that takes place in and around them. So when the municipal areas at many places cross their boundaries due to this unplanned development of these peri-urban areas that has been observed, the improvement of living conditions in these areas and their vicinity, that becomes an imperative. However, the municipal agencies, they are not able to solve this problem due to jurisdictional, legal and financial limitations that they face. So there are only two ways of controlling this problem that has emerged. The problem of the unplanned physical growth and also the unplanned development of peri-urban areas that has been observed. So there are only two, the municipal agencies, since they have not been able to solve this problem, and the extension of municipal boundaries is constantly taking place, there are only two ways that has been found out for controlling this issue. So the first way is either to extend the municipal boundaries and strengthen them administratively and financially, or the second way is to have a separate agency with more power and finance. So the estimates committee of the 5th Lok Sabha, that recommended the setting up of development authorities for the rapidly growing cities and also for the major towns in order to achieve a planned development. So the Union Planning Commission, it also indicated the desirability of structural innovations in these urban local governments during its 5th plan. So this led to the constitution of urban development authorities in our country for various metropolitan and other cities. The Delhi Development Authority was the first urban development authority that was set up in 1957. So the urban development authorities, they are expected to plan, control and coordinate the development programs in and around the metropolitan and big cities. So some of the major objectives of these authorities are to prepare and implement the plans for the development of the area and also to prepare zonal development plans as well for the zones into which these development areas are divided. And also they have been vested with the power to control the use of land for various purposes and carry out developmental works also. And a very important function that they have been entrusted with is the second block. So moving on, we have the third block, which is concerned with emerging issues in administrative system at the state and district levels. And as part of that, we are going to discuss the center state local administrative relations. That is our final unit, the center state local administrative relations. So as we all know that the Indian constitution is neither purely federal nor purely unitary. Subjects have been allocated to the exclusive fields of the center and the states, as I have just mentioned, and also certain subjects have been kept in the concurrent list as well. So, regarding subjects which are there in the concurrent list, both the center and the state governments can make laws. However, in case there is a conflict between the central law and the state law, the law made by the central government will prevail. So in the context of state-local relations, it is said that the local bodies are creature of states. And the local government, which is a state subject, it figures as item 5 in list 2, that is state list of the 7th schedule in the Constitution of India. Article 246 contains the 7th schedule. The state legislatures, they pass the legislation regarding Panchayati Raj institutions as well as municipalities, and they remain vigilant about their working also. In this way, the state legislature, they indirectly exercise administrative control over these local bodies. At the local level, urban local bodies and rural local bodies are institutionalization and also of local democracy also. They are created by the state governments through the Municipal Act and in the rural areas through the Panchayati Raj Acts respectively. And the provisions of these acts, they govern the relations between the state and the local bodies. So the Constitution of India has clearly delimited the scope of legislative and executive authority of the union and the states. And at the same time, the Constitution of India has expressly provided under Article 256 of the Constitution that the executive power of the states, they shall be so exercised as to ensure compliance with the laws of the parliament. So this has also been clearly provided. So it is further stipulated in the Constitution under Article 256 that if the state government fails to endorse the laws passed by the parliament within its jurisdiction, the union government can issue directions to the states to ensure their compliance. And in case the state government does not heed to these directions that are issued by the union government, then the union government can recommend for the imposition of president's rule in that particular state. There is also a constitutional provision under which the president, with the consent of a state government, can entrust either conditionally or unconditionally to a state or to its officers functions in relation to any matter falling within the ambit of the union. And also a state government can also, with the consent of the union government, confer administrative functions also on the union. So because India is a federation, the constitution of our country has established a dual polity with the union at the center and the states at the periphery. And this dual government system and the division of powers, they are key features of the federal system. And since cooperation and coordination between the central and state governments, they are absolutely necessary for the smooth running of the federation, the constitution, it has also provided for a detailed division of executive, legislative, and financial powers. So the administrative relations between the union and the states, they can be discussed under two parts. Now, what are those two parts? The first part is the powers exercised by the union over the states that are granted by the constitution. And the second part is the powers that are exercised by extra constitutional agencies. Now, if we talk about the division of administrative powers between the center and the states as per the constitutional provisions, the first thing we have to talk about is the directives that are given by the union to the state governments. So the executive power of the union, it also extends to the giving of directions to the state government under Article 256 of the Constitution, and the state governments have to comply with these directions. So, for instance, the union can give directives to the state pertaining to the construction and maintenance of means of communication that are crucial, that are of national or military importance, or also, and also for the protection of railways also within the state. So this is essential to ensure the implementation of parliamentary laws throughout the country. And as I have already discussed, that the non-compliance of these directives can lead to the center invoking Article 365 in that particular state, that is recommending the imposition of president's rule in the state, and the center can take over the administration of the state once president's rule is in force. The second thing is the delegation of the union functions to the state. So under Article 58 of the Constitution, the President of India, with the consent of the state government, can entrust either conditionally or unconditionally, we have already discussed, to the state government functions relating to any matter that falls within the ambit of union executive power, that is there in the union list, not in the state list. And under clause 2 of Article 258, the parliament is also entitled to use the state machinery for the enforcement of union laws as well. And parliament can confer powers and entrust duties also to the state governments. And a state can also, with the consent of the union government, confer administrative functions on the union. The third thing is relating to the all India services. So besides the central and state services, the Constitution under Article 312 provides for the creation of additional all India services also that are common to both the union and the states. The state government, it has the authority to suspend the officials of the all India services as well, and the power of appointment and taking disciplinary action against them, that vests only with the President of India. Also, regarding the deployment of military and paramilitary forces, the military and paramilitary forces can be deployed in the state by the union if the situation warrants, and this can be done even against the wishes of the state government as well. So there is also an issue regarding the constitution of joint public service commissions for 2 or more states that has been given in the constitution. So apart from the Union Public Service Commission or the UPSC and the state public service commissions, the constitution has also provided for a joint public service commission as well. So when 2 or more states, through a resolution to that effect in their respective legislatures, when 2 or more states, they agree to have one such commission, the parliament, it can by law provide for the setting up of a joint public service commission. So the constitution of the joint public service commission, it facilitates intergovernmental cooperation. And there is also a provision in the constitution wherein on request by 2 or more states, the UPSC can assist those states in framing and operating schemes of joint recruitment as well to any service for which candidates with special qualifications are required. Now, when we talk about the judicial system and in perspective of center-state relations, a distinctive feature of our federal system is the presence of an integrated judicial system. So, though we have federal form of government with two sets of government and dual powers also, there is no dual system of administration of justice. The practice of having one set of courts, which was present in our country and which was introduced under the Government of India Act 1935, it continued in post-independent India as well. And the Federal Court of India, which was established by the Government of India Act 1935, it came to be known as the Supreme Court of India in post-independent India. So we have an integrated judicial system. Another mechanism that we have to discuss as part of center-state relation is regarding the interstate council. So, as we all know that India is a union of states wherein the center plays a very prominent role, but at the same time, the center is dependent on the states for the execution of its policies. The Constitution of India, it has provided for certain devices to bring about intergovernmental cooperation and also effective consultations between the center and states, so that all important national policies are arrived through dialogue, discussion, and consensus. So, one such mechanism of intergovernmental cooperation is the Interstate Council, which was created based on the recommendation of the Sarkaria Commission. So the Interstate Council was set up under Article 263 of the Constitution of India. It was set up in 1990. So this council is to inquire into and advise upon disputes which may arise between two or more states. And in addition, this Interstate Council can also investigate and discuss subjects of common interest between the union and the states, or between two or more states, in order to facilitate coordination of policy and action. So the following councils, interstate councils, have been set up. Which are these? These are the Central Council of Health and Family Welfare, the Central Council of Local Government, and also the Transport Development Council as well. So these interstate councils, they consist of the Prime Minister of India, who acts as the chairman of these councils, the chief ministers of respective states, and also the chief ministers of the union territories of Puducherry and Delhi. And in case a certain union territory, a specific union territory, does not have a legislative assembly, the administrators of these union territories, they are members of these interstate councils, and also the governors of those states which are under president's rule. Also, this interstate council, it includes 6 ministers of cabinet rank in the union council of members, and also 4 ministers of cabinet rank who are permanent invitee, members of these interstate councils. Now let us discuss another very important issue, that is interstate water disputes. So in India, as we all know, there are many interstate rivers, and their regulation and development has been a source of interstate function. So this is related to the use, control, and distribution of water of the interstate rivers for the purposes of irrigation and power generation. And water-related matters in the Indian Constitution, they are included in the state list in case they are within a state. However, regarding interstate rivers, these water-related matters are included in the union list. And keeping in view this problem of unending river water disputes, the Constitution framers vested the power to deal with it exclusively in the Parliament. And the Parliament, hence, by law, can provide for the adjudication of any dispute or complaint with regard to the use, distribution, or control of the waters. So the Interstate Water Disputes Act that was enacted by the Parliament in 1956, according to which tribunals are set up for the adjudication of water disputes referred to the central government. Now, if we discuss about state-local administrative relation, a very important thing is regarding approval of bylaws and rules. So the state government has to approve bylaws and rules that are framed by the municipal bodies within the framework of the Municipal Act for civic governance that is within their jurisdiction. And the state government also approves bylaws and rules framed by the Panchayati Raj institutions as well. And these bylaws and rules, they are considered as guiding factors of the growth within the jurisdiction of a local government. Another issue is regarding center-state local relations is the control on local bodies through state cadre. In most states, as we have discussed, higher level personnel of the rural local bodies and urban local bodies remain under the control of the state government. So the appointment, transfer, condition of service, disciplinary action, it is all decided by the state governments here. And the state government only controls the urban local bodies through their personnel. So the executive and technical staffs also from various state departments are more loyal to the state government than to the institutions where they work. So this is also a problem that has been observed in recent years. And there has also been an issue regarding the audit of these local bodies and the issuance of directions to them. So the state government, it conducts inspections of local bodies and also it issues suitable directions to improve the administrative system. While giving the grants, the state government generally specifies the purpose and method of proper utilization of the grants. So there are tied grants and there are untied grants. Tied grants have to be used only in a specific area. And also periodic audit is also a very important instrument of financial control. And the audit of the account of panchayats is given in Article 243, Clause J. And the legislature of the state has to make provisions regarding the maintenance of accounts of the panchayats and the municipal bodies and also of the auditing of such accounts. And the state government only exercises the power of removing members of these local bodies. And also, the state only inspects the institutions of self-governance and also has the power of inspection, supervision, and control over local bodies. Another important thing regarding center-state local relation is the submission of periodic reports to the state government. The local bodies, they have to submit periodic reports to the state government on their functioning. So there are also certain default powers of the state government as well. That is, in case a municipal body fails to discharge its duty, it fails to provide proper sewers or sewer disposal plants, for example, within a specified time limit, the state government can declare the local authority to be in default and can take action against it as well. And an appeal against the unjust and arbitrary behavior of the local body can also be made to the state government, and the state government can take necessary action also. And the Panchayati Raj Acts that have been enacted in many states, they have empowered the district collector to oversee and control malpractices and also to curb the misuse of powers by the panchayats in their respective areas. And also there is certain provisions regarding the control on arbitrary practices by these local bodies, and if they engage in arbitrary practices, they can be dissolved also at discretion by the state government. However, if they are dissolved, fresh elections are to be conducted within 6 months. So that we have discussed, that in case of dissolution of a local body, fresh elections shall be conducted within 6 months. So In this paper, we have so far discussed the evolution of administration from ancient time till modern time. We have discussed the different aspects of state and district administrative system. We have discussed from the ancient times to the medieval times to the modern times, and also we have discussed the intricacies of the state and district administrative system in modern day India. And in our last unit, we have discussed the center state relations, center state local relations. So, in today's class, we have discussed municipal administration and center state local relations. So, we are done with this paper. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining today's class. Namaste.